The time is upon us. Sensor Tower statistics are in for the last month, meaning that we get to see which gacha games excelled and which ones, well, didn't. Which games are going to remain alive and which ones are in a slow, perpetual decline into death. Some of these games might surprise you, as there have been quite substantial changes since last month. New games, sizable increases and decreases, maybe even the number one spot will shock you. What shocks me though is how many of you have chosen to become active patrons. It's surreal to me that there are so many people willing to actively support this channel, and honestly it means the world to me. Also, if you have a moment, consider following Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. Wait, whoops, you know what? That is my bad. I always get Tower of Fantasy and the number one most downloaded, highest earning gacha game mixed up. Everyone always tells me how similar they are, and I guess after all this time, it's just rubbing off on me. Genshin Impact, surprising everyone, came in as the highest grossing gacha of the month at $82 million, amassing 3.7 million new downloads total. Comparatively, last month they earned $90 million and had 3.8 million new downloads. Then comes Diablo Immortal at $44 million earned and 1.8 million new downloads. Comparatively, last month saw $51 million in earnings and 2.3 million new downloads. Musume comes in next at $33.4 million and 65,000 new downloads. Comparatively, Musume saw $41 million in earnings last month and 100,000 new downloads. These numbers are for Japan and Korea only. Fate Grand Order comes in next with $20 million earned and 140,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month Fate Grand Order made $35 million and amassed 200,000 new downloads. Then comes Project Sekai with $17.4 million earned and 570,000 new downloads accumulated this month. Quite the hefty number. Comparatively, last month saw $10 million in earnings and 370,000 new downloads. At number 6 comes something new, Memento Mori. I will preface this by stating that only 2 weeks of the last month were counted due to when the game was released, but in 2 weeks, Memento Mori amassed $16 million in total revenue and well over 1 million downloads, surprising everyone. Summoner's War saw $12 million earned in the last month with 100,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month saw $13 million earned and 110,000 new downloads. Interestingly, Blue Archive saw quite the uptick last month, earning $10.5 million and amassing 250,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month Blue Archive made $6.7 million and had 200,000 new downloads. Heaven Burns Red is down this month with $8 million in total earnings and 28,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month it made $9 million and saw 29,000 new downloads. Note, this is a Japanese exclusive gacha. Tower of Fantasy has fallen from the top 3 highest grossing gacha a mere month ago to barely within the top 10, grossing a grand total of $6 million and amassing 500,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month Tower of Fantasy made $20 million and had 600,000 new downloads. Next comes Epic 7 at $5 million earned and 110,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month saw $6 million and 130,000 new downloads. Yeah, this is trailing ever so closely to Tower of Fantasy and might knock it out of the top 10 next month. Then comes Azur Lane with $4.4 million in total earnings and 86,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month Azur Lane saw $7.5 million and 100,000 new downloads. Arknights came up after Azur Lane at $3.2 million in earnings and 100,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month saw $3.3 million and saw 90,000 new downloads. Next is Honkai Impact 3rd at $2.6 million earned and 267,000 new downloads. Comparatively, last month Honkai saw $4 million in earnings and 370,000 new downloads. And finally, at number 15 came another new title, Dolphin Wave, which also saw reduced earnings for the last month since it did launch partway through, but it still managed to amass a little shy of $2 million and 300,000 new downloads. The last month has been crazy. Tower of Fantasy fell by unbelievable margins. Diablo Immortal continues to absolutely defy logic in terms of earnings. Some gacha games rose, some sunk. A few new gachas really broke out as well, like Memento Mori, absolutely destroying previously released gacha like Counterside and Artery Gear Fusion. But the most important month is yet to come. Path to Nowhere, which has been a breakout hit and success, and Nikke, which is arguably the most anticipated gacha game of 2022, both just released over the course of the last week and will likely show unbelievable numbers by the end of the month, so I'm curious to see where they end up. Now, if you're looking for something new to play, I urge you to check out one of the two videos that are on screen right now. One showcases every upcoming gacha game releasing this month, the other is a brand new gacha game that I think you should take a look at